Welcome back, 7 o'clock on a Thursday. It is the Alpha Nerd Podcast on WXPI 88.5, Wii Sports Community Radio Station. I am here once again, Kyle, your Alpha Nerd, with my main cinema co-host, Greg.
How you doing?
And we have a newcomer today. He is our special guest, Dan.
Hello. He said hello.
So, I asked Dan to come on the show because we watched a very special movie together. We watched the 2022 The Batman.
It was great.
No, it wasn't. Don't lie.
It was great. I never said how it was great.
Fair enough, you got us. So, this movie was directed by Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves is also known for the Planet of the Apes series that just wrapped up, and the Cloverfield series.
Really, Kyle? Tell me more.
Yeah, it's yeah, he's the Cloverfield guy. Like,
Cloverfield's not bad.
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, and
This was bad.
this was bad, but it was bad for different reasons. Before we decide to talk about this movie, we're just going to give you the heads up now. Spoiler warnings.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want the movie spoiled for you, I suggest turning it off the station now, but don't because I need the ratings. But before we do decide to slam dunk on the bad parts of this movie, which we're all gearing for, I'm going to talk about the few good things I found in this movie that I personally liked. The aesthetic, the color, the darkness.
Give me a list. I'll help you.
No, I don't need that. My good points are not on there. It wasn't worth writing down. It wasn't long enough to write down. But my main thing I loved was like the dark, grim atmosphere. They did that very well. The scenery was very good. I felt that was all correct. The other two parts I liked was... Well, go ahead. You had a look on your face.
Never mind.
You continue. You do what you need to do.
The other part I really, really liked was Zoe Kravitz.
That's the only thing I liked about it.
I know that. Yeah, like, you know, she did a really good job as Catwoman. I mean, it's not a super hard role. Look hot in leather. Like,
Colin Farrell was good as Penguin.
yeah, and that's my other one. Colin Farrell as the Penguin was
I didn't mind
really good.
Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon either.
Yeah, no, he didn't bother me at all, but
He's a great actor.
they didn't do enough with him. So, any upticks for you other than Zoe Kravitz, Greg?
No,
Nope.
not really. No.
Dan?
Tried real hard, man.
It's fine. You don't have to be like, I liked it. I just felt we needed some, positive things to say about this thing on my end before I...
I don't know. I guess technically he's a good director as far as like technical skills. I
Yeah,
suppose.
like it was
It's not bad.
all the
photographed or
yeah,
anything.
all the
It's
shots
just
and
that-
stuff were nice. Like the shots, the look were nice. But there was a lot of bad parts.
I mean, I never got over the part that how he did the whole movie, no matter whether he's Bruce Wayne or the Batman. He looks like some depressed emo kid with smeared eyeliner.
Look, that problem for me was from the trailer.
Yeah.
I know,
the
but
trailer,
like,
they had the
I
part
didn't
where
think-
he beat up the guys in the beginning of the movie.
it says on vengeance.
And
Yeah.
then he's hammer fists him like he has no skills whatsoever.
Right.
Yeah. And
Well, I mean, I didn't expect that out of Bruce Wayne though.
like he still had it. Like when he was
he's
trying to be
still-
Bruce
like,
Wayne,
even when he's
he
Bruce
left some of the
Wayne,
makeup
he has
on.
some of the smeared eyeliner.
He just never got
Like
rid of
he's
it.
some depressed.
Yeah, he went a
Emo
little too
kid,
far.
yeah.
He went a little too far with the sad little boy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, his hair's still messy and garbage, but he's supposed to be this billionaire kid. So,
So-
It looked
business
like
meeting.
he looked like a little kid who put on his father's suit for the first time, and it doesn't fit right.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
because the first scene when they showed him as Batman, and this is also going to be one of my other gripes because that's the other one, is the super heavy metal footsteps. Instead of him lurking up and sneaking up guys,
Like he had lead boots on.
yeah, clomp, 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 clomp,
Like,
clomp.
I was thinking
That's
how
why he
can
wouldn't
his-
kick. That's why he couldn't kick in
Couldn't
any of
lift
the
his
scenes.
feet.
The
How
boots
can
were
his
too
skinny
heavy
legs
for him.
move those things anyway?
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, because we were talking about this, one of the big issues with the thing was Robert Pattinson was supposed to gain a lot of weight,
He was supposed to put on
muscle-wise.
muscle. Yeah, they asked him to
Yeah,
put on
muscle-wise to fill out the suit so he looks like a superhero. And he super did not. And so this costume was not very correctly fitted for him, because in that scene, when you look at it, when he first walks out of the shadows after the thunderous footsteps he has to make him sound like he weighs 300 pounds, you see the suit and it's hanging off his chest about an inch down, and it looks like a paunch belly because it's just flopping in the wind. And I was like, really?
Well, how about
My
how about the scene after like that scene where he's back at the Batcave and he's taking his shirt off. He's taking his shirt off, and it makes
when he's like, I got a shower.
It's definitely not him.
Yeah,
like,
no,
it's
there's
without a
no
doubt
way.
some bigger, muscular guy that they show from
honestly,
the back.
I wasn't paying attention because I couldn't get over.
I was like,
the weird tone of the movie.
I looked at Kyle and I was like, that's definitely not him.
Yeah, no, it was no. The hair wasn't even right. The hair wasn't even right. And then when they switched over, they show him, and he's like obviously like a foot smaller. But Dan,
because they didn't have to do it that way.
No, they didn't.
They're always trying to make him like the big hulking Batman, and there's a lot of different versions of Batman. They don't always have to be Christian Bale-ish,
Yeah, but still,
you know. Or do what they did with what's his name?
Well, Christian Bale-ish wasn't even. I mean,
What's
he
his
wasn't
name?
some big muscular Batman.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. Yeah, give him a muscle
they
suit.
gave him a muscle suit.
Right. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, right.
It was basically
it
was basically like it looked like they gave him like either a CGI or like a mini mech suit.
Right.
There's no way he can be jumping around like that with his physique. Give me a break.
Well, Christian Bale wasn't some big muscular Batman.
Well, I understand that, but
He was pretty ripped. Though.
Well, he was toned, but he's not some big dude. Christian Bale was a skinnier guy.
Yeah, but they didn't try to make him seem super
Well,
big
no,
either.
right.
This one, they tried to emphasize him like he was big with the heavy footsteps to make him seem like he was
Right.
like, because first of all, how many times, and Dan, you're the comic book guy way more than me.
Yeah.
How many times did Batman just walk down a blackened hallway super loud to let people know he was coming?
If he wasn't in a mech suit, never.
Exactly.
Which he has had mech suits before.
Yes, but this definitely wasn't the time.
Right.
He had Daddy's cosplay knight armor on. Because it kind
Just
of
think of the Arkham Knight video games, basically.
yeah, and
Now, nobody looks like that. No one's that jacked
Well, yeah, right.
and can move around. But
yeah, there's no one that's
But
that
the
ripped.
the
They
idea
can be
of-
like, let me do
but the idea
backflips.
is
No, they're like
sneaking around and trying to get position. And
Yeah,
whatever.
he's not trying to directly walk at people.
I understand what they did. It was visually arresting in some way, where it's black, and then all of a sudden these sparkly lights from gunfire. I get it, but
Even at the beginning, see when he's walking, clump, 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 and then he comes.
Oh, into the.
my question is, why would they? If he's such a vigilante, why did you just let him walk in the front door? He never walks in the front
Oh, when he walked right in the front door of everything.
Oh yeah, everything.
Yeah, in the police
Right
investigation.
up. How about right up the elevator?
Yeah,
Right.
like
I thought his thing
'Cause-
was jumping off rooftops and windows.
and
Yeah,
sneaking
right.
on people and jumping people. But this
He's
one-
with me. He's with me.
Yeah, Jim Gordon, who at the time was a detective. He wasn't even the.
He was a lieutenant, but he wasn't commissioner. So
Yeah, if he was commissioner, I'd get it because then he'd be like, "Hey,
He has a
I run all that."
overpowering. Yeah, right.
But this was just, "Hey, I'm some podunk lieutenant. Let me just make this creepy guy in a bat costume."
You better check yourself.
And literally everybody else in the room except for Gordon was like, "What is he doing here?" But
Yeah, why is
would
he here?
All right. Yeah.
In every other movie ever, it was always everybody out, then he
And then he
appears,
appears in the dark. Yeah,
and
right.
then
and
he
then
tells them what he knows,
And they talk in private.
Yeah.
and then he goes, "Okay, everybody come back in," and then he's gone.
Yeah.
It never happened.
The the other thing I didn't like about the costume, which really bothered me, was the van braces on his arms were really big. They look like giant pillows on his forearms. Where he kept the hooks. They look like giant pillows because they were so much bigger than his arms.
Continuing with the Arkham Knight comparison, are you sure they didn't try to copy the video game
I think they
costume?
did, and they just chose the worst actor to do it.
There's no actor that big.
Yeah,
I mean, Jason Momoa's
I mean,
Batman.
there is. I mean, I was gonna say there are
Batgirl.
actors that big.
He's already Aquaman, though.
Listen, he probably would have pulled it off.
he
wouldn't.
can't. He doesn't have
Jason
an actor.
Momoa plays himself.
Yeah.
He's like Vin Diesel.
Right.
I don't want
They
Jason Momoa
they-
as Bruce Wayne as Batman.
Yeah, but
I don't want that.
I'm saying they would have sold that movie to all the teenage girls. This movie would have made way more money.
had George Clooney playing George Clooney as the Batman. So
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. Yeah.
But that was a terrible. That was the worst movie, though.
No, it wasn't. I agree
Which one was that? Batman and Robin?
Yes.
That's literally the worst one.
No.
Yes, it is. With the neon glow gang and fight in the alleyway.
Wait, that's
and
the
Batgirl.
Wait,
and
that's
all-
the one with
No, that was Batman Forever Batgirl.
Batman
No,
Forever.
Batman
No, Batman
Forever-
Forever was with Ivy.
Okay.
Ivy and Mr. Frost.
No, that was
That's not Mr. Freeze?
Batman Forever was
Batgirl's Batman.
Riddler
Robin.
and
There you go.
Two-Face. Which always threw me off because Batman Forever, you think it'd be the fourth one,
Right.
but it wasn't. It was the second one. Batman and Robin is the one where they introduced Batgirl.
Okay. Oh yeah,
With
I remember with Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Alicia-
starts off with meeting Robin, right?
Alicia
Yeah, I remember that.
Silverstone was popular because of Clueless and all that.
She's not.
Well, which one's the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Frost?
Batman and Robin.
Oh, okay.
Because it was Mr. Freeze, Mr. Freeze, Ivy,
Ivy,
and Sabrina
yeah, right.
That's why it's the
Bane.
word. Look, Mr. Freeze is the reason.
No.
That and Bane. Bane kills me.
Did you know he rents that suit every year for $1? Arnold Schwarzenegger rents that suit every year. That
Just
for-
to wear.
Just to wear it. Just.
Wow.
Just to wear it. He rents it every year. They give it to him for like $1. They give him $1. They let him rent that suit out every year.
Yeah, well, whatever. Actually, on the positive side, I will say the actual 3 to 4 fight scenes they actually had were actually
They were good. Yeah,
they were actually
really
decent.
good.
They were actually pretty well choreographed.
Except for the lack of kicking.
Yeah,
He
Batman.
had lead boots. That's
Yeah,
why. He had
they're
lead
too
boots.
heavy.
I understand why.
That's why his feet stomped so
And
hard.
also, that was the only time he ever used gadgets was to hurt people.
Right.
Yeah.
He never tried to knock him out, use any investigative techniques. It was just him standing there and using a computer to make code.
Well, he didn't even do any of the
He didn't really
detective.
do. He didn't. Alfred did.
Alfred did it all.
Let me
Alfred
rephrase.
did it all.
I guess he tried, and then he goes, "Alfred, I can't do it." And then,
Well, no, there
then
wasn't even a try. Alfred literally snatched the stuff from him
Like, let me
and
just
went up to the dining room and
figured it
started
out.
doing it
And then he's like, "Oh, well, I'll just."
maybe I'm hoping. I'm trying to remember it in a hopeful way.
Well, I remember you disappeared for about 30 minutes in the movie.
Yeah, we were
I
debating.
thought
if
you left. I thought you left.
I walked away because I don't know if I couldn't take it anymore. So I walked out.
Yeah.
I went to the bathroom. I was thinking about walking home, and then
Well, like you disappeared. I was
Then
like,
your integrity for the performance.
no, I was standing in the entranceway for like 10 minutes.
well, I know you got up and left, and I was like, oh, he's going to the bathroom, and I'm sitting there watching the movie, and it's
You're
like
like-
20 minutes goes by, and finally I look at Kyle, I'm like, did he
think he
leave?
left. And I was like, I don't think so. I think he's just taking a
think he
poop.
left.
And then I was like, this another 5 minutes. But I was like, I think he left. And then he came back around the corner. I was like, oh, he's still alive. Oh, so, and that's the thing. Like, you know Batman very well. You've read all the comics. So this is supposed to be what? Year 2, I think they said? Year 2 or 3? And I'm pretty sure at year 2 or 3, he was a lot more intelligent and a lot better fighter and a lot better Batman than he is in this.
It's
Well, I would imagine the first year
Look,
is
here-
a...
Well, year 0, he would just try to run up on
Yeah,
Credible like,
right.
Then he's like,
First year is a
there's an
feeling out
comic
process.
called Batman Earth 1, where it's a different scenario. So they took the Alfred from that one, where he's like an ex-Royal Marine and taught him how to fight and all that stuff.
Yeah, right.
So he's more of a
yeah,
butt kicker.
right.
more
Yeah.
or less,
Yeah.
right? But he also gets Alfred to do half his stuff. At the end of the
Half?
fir-
That was over half. It was like 75% of it.
Look, I'm being generous.
I think
So at
the only
end of
thing...
that-
I think the
so-
only
so-
thing...
so
I
at
think
the end of that story, he finds out the Penguin's in was it behind everything, and he almost gets killed because the Penguin's going to shoot him, and then Alfred comes in the door and blasts him in the chest with a shotgun.
I think the
So,
only thing... I think
that's
the only...
reason he's Batman in that story.
I think the only thing Batman did in any of the detective stuff was when Alfred was on the computer, he couldn't find the pattern. He had the pattern down, he just couldn't figure out what the word was, and he was like, "Well, just take these away," and that's all he said.
yeah,
That's
all.
the
That was
only
that was
detective. That's the only detective work that he did.
And then speaking of that,
the rest of the clues that he got were he figured out on accident.
honestly,
he had that podunk cop at the end figure
Yeah,
out the
yeah,
what the
right.
tool was for him.
honestly,
Yeah.
my eyes glassed over when it's the detective stuff because he wasn't doing any of it. So I was like, "What's the point?" of
So,
that?
None of
and then the other thing I like is he's supposed to be a billionaire with all this tech company and all this intelligence, but he was struggling to use half of it. Like that.
Half
he had
of
that,
what? I mean, he
his
had no.
technology.
There
Like,
was no technology.
yeah, there was. There was for some reason. At the very beginning, they made the whole thing about those contact lenses that had the mini
yeah, I
cameras
forgot
and
about the
computer in them.
That's the only technology that
yeah,
they showed. In
and then the
movie.
next thing you know, he's using old dial-up things trying to listen into radio things, and then he has no
'Cause-
more technology.
the thing is, he's supposed to be. My problem is they thought they had to change Batman to suit the audience, but he's been popular for 80 years. Why did they need to change it?
Yeah.
So much.
For the
They
younger-
tried to make it cool.
For the younger crowd, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Cool.
But even then- but
yeah,
even-
they've been younger crowds like 7 times in the last 80 years for that.
Yeah, but even then the younger crowd's probably like, well, he's got some garbage technology.
Yeah, like, where's his cell phone?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Like,
Why is?
I mean-
he had was a cool car, and that's it.
I know you only seen that for like 2 minutes.
Right.
That was it. the rest of him getting around on a
You saw it in the
motorcycle.
background, like, it was there.
The rest of it's him getting around on a
let's summarize
motorcycle.
So far, most of it's just emo clomping around, beating up guys with like basically must have some sort of Iron Man suit underneath that thing.
Yeah. 'Cause
And
there's no way.
And other than that, there was a big explosion-y car chase with the Penguin for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, that was one bright part for you, Kyle. You said you liked the Penguin.
Oh, yeah, I loved it. It
Well,
was.
I thought we were talking about the big explosion-y crash scene with him jumping through the flames off a truck that somehow fell right down so he could jump off it.
Oh, yeah, the
And-
truck.
Oh, the car chase. Oh, yeah, okay.
And then he somehow flips exactly on his face, and then they have the standard scene where he's upside down,
Yeah,
looking
right.
at his feet. I'm like,
Yeah.
really?
And then even then he doesn't do nothing cool. He just turns his head upside down and
it's
look back
all
at it.
cliches.
Yeah, right. It is all cliches.
All
So-
cliches. Okay.
I liked Colin Farrell as the Penguin. They didn't do it hokey, just a weird looking mobby guy. That's what he is.
Who's kind of a punk.
Yeah. And what I did like though was also like with it being Batman Year 2, he was just like,
Are we sure it's year 2?
yeah, I'm absolutely positive.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Not
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's like obsolete. And
Obs-
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Batman.
I mean, do you think it's going to break the record?
No.
The top selling Batman, I think we looked it up, was
Is this
Well,
like
The Dark
actual-
Knight Rises.
Yeah, Dark Knight.
with Bane at 1.81 billion.
Well, it's depending if it's adjusted for inflation or not.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
If it's like current dollars, then fine. But then you have to adjust the old ones for inflation. And all that stuff. Depending what the list says.
Right, now obviously it's going to be higher. But right now it's at 500, what did I say, 582?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
582
I don't
million.
Unless it goes for another month somehow.
Well, once they get all the overseas stuff,
Maybe.
it might.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Pretty good.
Personally, my favorite Batman is the one with Heath Ledger as Joker, The
Yeah.
Dark Knight. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Batman.
You're right.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. That's
It is the best one. It is the best
Yeah,
one.
it is the.
And
Yeah.
if Kyle thinks that's not the case, well, he's wrong. It's fine.
Yeah, well.
Well, you're wrong, sir. You are
I mean,
wrong.
my favorite's still the original, the original Batman, and
I know you
the
like the
80s.
one with Keaton.
yeah,
You just like Prince. Whatever.
maybe I do.
That's
And
fine.
the man's a symbol,
Never,
Dan,
never speak ill of the dead, but
and he's a symbol.
He's
How
a-
many of us have gotten the symbol establishment?
He really is a symbol.
Yeah,
He really
exactly.
is.
he's did that to
So-
himself.
So I like, and so getting back to how inferior this Batman was, one of the things I found really funny, and it's about right before you came back, is right after they got
Oh yeah, you missed a little bit. I forgot about that.
right after they got the Riddler,
30 minutes.
they got the Riddler. They had that whole scene where the Riddler was behind bars.
Oh, when the Joker's laughing.
And before that,
That's
when he
the
was
end of the
talking,
movie.
when he was talking.
No,
to
it's
Batman.
not the end of the movie.
It's
There's
like
not-
It's
there was like 20 minutes after
I must
that.
have missed that.
You glazed over
Right.
again. You went to your happy place.
No, the only time I remember the Joker's like literally at the end.
You don't remember that the movie could have ended like 4 times and they never ended it?
No, I thought that was at the end.
No, that's one of the.
No, there was so
much end. I guess I just
yeah,
stopped.
because there
right.
was the Joker where they introduced like the Joker a little bit, and then they went into the long scene where she was talking to him, and that was 20 some minutes about how he's not going to leave, and how no, sorry, they went into the scene where it showed him redoing footage of saving people, and then they went through the whole him saving people. Then it went to him talking to Catwoman for another 20 minutes, and then it had another 15 minutes of them riding their motorcycles away from each other.
It should have ended. So where you're saying you thought it ended is where it should have ended. Maybe that's why your brain shut off right there, because that's where it should have ended.
Most of the pretty decent like Marvel movies, for example, they have like a thing at the end where it's like kind of like a teaser.
Yeah.
So that's the
Where
the
you should-
feeling.
Right. That's how it should have ended.
Now here's my thing.
Okay, was the motorcycle thing after that?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Remember?
I hated that part.
What-
It's so like it's like a picturesque,
Well, after
panoramic, whatever.
well after that is when the 7 bombs blew up the port and flood the city.
That part, gee.
Yeah.
Although the only good part about that scene is like he was actually kind of fighting like Batman against those guys with the guns.
Oh
Because
yeah.
he was like
right.
trying to
Oh, that was a good
maneuver
fight scene.
a little bit.
Yeah, that was.
That was a good
Whereas
fight scene.
whereas all the other ones were just
He just stood there and
could have
punched
been
people.
any
Yeah.
martial arts guy.
So
Well, I mean, I guess that goes to your point. All the fight scenes were good.
yeah, the fight scenes were decent. So now the Joker, since we brought that up, I wanted to save that for a little bit.
Well, what were you?
Why?
You didn't finish your point yet.
With the fight scenes, or?
No, you said with
Let's
the
leave
Riddler
joke-
being locked
dude,
in.
dude.
Oh yeah. So they went into the concept of those two talking.
Right.
And when he's like, for some reason, the Riddler, and then we're going to get into about how bad they did the Riddler, because Dan likes the Riddler in Batman comics. This was a travesty.
Well,
of
the Riddler in Batman comics is more like the Jim Carrey.
yeah, like he's just
Yeah,
trying to
right.
prove he's smarter than everybody.
Right.
But he's like, we're united, we're the same, we're just different. You're the brawn and I'm the brains, kind of thing. And he's like, we're destined to change the world together.
Oh, you're
And-
talking about him and Batman.
Yeah, when they're
Yeah,
talking,
yeah, when they're in the- yeah,
he goes,
okay.
and you're the brawn. I was like, first of all, you're about 20 pounds heavier than Batman there.
Yeah, but what he's
Here's
saying
the
is he
other
doesn't
problem
have
with-
the
but
fighting
that I had with
acumen.
The primary problem I had with Riddler, other than the fact that he's a serial killer, which makes no sense, is the fact that he's almost never a serial killer. He just wants to commit
Well,
crimes and get him the.
Right.
He's
yeah.
not the Zodiac. That's basically what
They turned him into.
Yeah.
basically
Right.
with a mask. So my primary problem was basically that Batman's supposed to be smarter than him. It might take him a while to get to it,
Mhm.
but he always outsmarts
Figures
him,
it
and
out.
that's why the Riddler hates him.
Well, yeah. Well, in this movie,
He's clearly not smart. Clearly.
Right.
He's clearly not as smart as the Riddler.
Yeah, no, he's a dumb.
He never stopped anything before it happened. It's always after the fact.
Yeah, and he's got to play catch up the whole time. So, and that's one of the things. Is like they did the Riddler so wrong,
I mean, I was expecting
and then his weird little videos.
something like Jim Carrey.
No, even if they were going for like a darker tone where he's killing people, like they could have left it to where he's smarter than them. He's still
but
killing people, but they added all that political agenda and the hurt feelings. Like you said, they turned him into the Zodiac killer.
Well, I agree. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I'm not a big fan of the comic. You guys both know that. I'm not.
You're not a comic
person.
book guy.
What is he in the comics? Is he like the
He's
Jim
basically-
Carrey? Is he like the Jim Carrey Riddler?
A little bit less flamboyant, but
Oh,
A little less
basically the same.
animated.
So I don't ever
He's
remember.
more like a carnival barker. but
Okay,
riddles.
but I don't ever remember hearing the Joker being in a gas mask covering his face.
The Riddler.
Yeah, right.
He's-
Like I don't
And then
re-
murdering people.
Yeah, I don't ever remember hearing anything like that. It's always been like the Jim Carrey.
Right.
Like
And
he's
there
just
was
pulling off
another-
elaborate crimes.
There was
and being
another
stupid.
actor that played the Riddler at one point too, correct?
Yeah, it was back in the '60s.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
even that was more like the Jim Carrey Riddler as well.
Yeah,
so
Yeah, so
I don't ever remember it being some big secret, like
Yeah.
gas.
like he's trying to
mask.
get a cult
Yeah,
going
right.
of like disenfranchised people who want to take revenge on the man. And that's the next point we're going to go into is the dumb
You talking
dumb-
about the orphanage thing?
no, the over the top with the rich versus the poor PC message. Like the rich
Well,
are
that's
always
versus
all
the-
corrupt. Like
Well, that's today's.
The rich versus the
that
poor.
hot button
They gotta
topic.
get- yeah,
yeah,
The
that's-
rich versus the poor is less of a problem than literally Zoe Kravitz saying white privilege
yeah, that was,
in a movie.
and that was probably
If
my
she just said privilege, that'd be different.
Yeah, because it was just weird. It was just really hokey and just shoved in there to say that. Now, that was my favorite part of the movie because before we even got together about to watch this, you made a comment about they were talking about they made a direct statement towards white privilege, and then when I was having coffee with you the day before, we said that they made a big point
Oh,
to that.
with the white privilege thing.
thing.
Yeah, right.
And when that happened, because I was looking for it the whole time,
Oh, we all were.
where
We all were.
as soon as it happened, you two almost synchronized and said, "There it is," and I got it in surround in my head. And I said it in my head too. There it is.
It was for
And I
two
s-
different reasons, to be honest.
right.
But it was still
He
funny.
was waiting for it more than me, but I was like,
There it is. Like, but it was still funny because I got it at the same time, so it was like in surround sound for me, and I was cracking up about it. That like,
Because the rest of the movie with her was great.
yeah,
It's just that
She's the best part of the movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
She's one of the best
She
parts.
is the best
Her
part
and the
of the movie
Penguin.
for me.
Let's
Yeah.
like.
I
the
think she
whole-
played her part well. She's a good-looking girl. She played her part well.
Yeah,
And she,
mean,
you know,
it doesn't take a lot to play Catwoman. Make cat puns.
I don't know
She
how many.
didn't
I
have
was gonna
many
say.
cat-
I was
No.
gonna say she didn't even make
No,
many cat puns.
they make. But I'm saying those are like the qualifications to be the Catwoman. Is either make cat puns, look good in leather, which
Yeah, she did.
yeah she did. And they didn't give her a whip this time. She had a
I
chain.
guess-
She
I
just
guess-
chained a guy.
I guess be a little athletic, flexible.
yeah,
right.
flexible. Be able to do a spin kick
Right.
and hit on Batman. Those are your qualifications. Hit
How
on a guy.
about that? That was like the worst. That was like the worst part. Like it was like so awkward. Like it was even in the movie, it made you feel awkward. How
Yeah.
she was like hitting on him hardcore.
And he's just staring
He
at him
just
with
like
like
this
a blank
dumb,
slate.
blank, stupid look on his face.
Have you seen the Twilight movies?
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
seen
that's
the
kind of how it
Twilight
is
movies.
too. He just stands there, zoned off into the distance.
I think you knew the answer to that before it came out of your mouth.
I don't know. You had a girlfriend at the time. She might have made you go.
No, she did not like that stuff.
Whatever. But
All right, are we gonna get into you two's relationship now? Is that what we're doing?
yep, it's now turning into a relationship counseling session.
I don't need that.
So-
I don't need that.
So like the whole concept of them trying to force the hot button issue of like rich versus poor, I hate that because it was just they did it to make the movie. They just touched on a hot button topic,
What?
and that's what they were making this movie about.
That's a valid point, but the thing is with Batman movies, it's obvious, and you don't have to say it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
because
right.
if the crime's that bad, there's always gonna be rich and poor people. It's
Yeah.
obvious.
Well, it's,
You don't even have
Well,
to say it.
You didn't need to go into like it and push shit.
whether people like to admit it or not, that's been a thing since the beginning of time.
Right. I
Yeah,
understand
there's-
that.
yeah.
I'm just saying that they didn't have to say privilege at all.
Right.
Yeah, they
They
didn't.
could
No,
have just
no.
showed it by what's happening.
Yeah, like all the rich people still being rich and fine, and
Well,
all
yeah,
yeah,
right.
Which they did. They did for like parts of it where they did that, but then they just started like slamming you over
about-
the head with it.
Well, I know we're kind of changing the subject. Well, it's not changing the subject, but how about him not knowing that he was a target?
I mean, to be fair,
He didn't know nothing.
yeah, he was dumb as a box of hammers.
Look, even Alfred, who figured out the cryptology or whatever, the ciphers in the movie, didn't know he was going to get shot.
Well,
at
I
either.
mean, he
Yeah.
opened the letter. Alfred knew right away. As soon as he opened the letter, he was like, "Oh crap, that's him."
And I'm thinking like,
Well, no, he
he's
saw
a-
the light of the blinking. He's like, "Oh, bomb."
That's another thing you guys were talking about, how the technology is weirdly like retro.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he's a rich person in the modern day. They don't have an X-ray machine at his place to look at every package that goes through.
And yeah, right. And on top of it,
Yeah, how is
he's
that
the
not?
he is the
There's
richest
bomb
person.
threats all the time.
Right.
Yeah,
yeah.
and he's the richest person in Gotham.
How
So
is there not a security?
yeah, there's not security
protocol.
people.
The security guy is
It's
an old
Alfred.
lady.
And Alfred.
Yeah, right.
And that's it.
And then here's the other thing, like.
There's
This-
no other
this
employees
can't
at
be-
Wayne Enterprise. They don't exist. I'm a billionaire for no reason.
reason. There's nothing going on with Wayne Enterprises. And then that's the other thing is like Alfred knew about all the stuff with Falcone.
Yeah.
So then he would also already be wary of someone might try to kill Bruce at some point. So maybe I should keep an eye on the mail.
He melded too many storylines at once.
And that's in my list right here. There was so many ridiculous connections. They tried to make everyone connected to everybody. So
Falcone with the Penguin.
Falcone with the Penguin, Falcone being Catwoman's father,
Yeah, right, yeah.
and he's a serial murderer, and,
And
he
he
happened
had a connection to Bruce
Wayne's parents get killed.
because right.
Because he thought he was doing a favor.
and
Yeah.
Falcone sat there and didn't even like ask like
Well, the bad part is he's a good actor. The guy
Yeah.
that played Falcone,
Oh, John
he's a
Turturro.
really good actor.
yeah he is. I mean, most
But
of his
like
roles
they-
have been silly in the last couple of years.
Well,
This
yeah,
is
right,
this is nice
but-
to see him change that. But what cracked me up is, Bruce Wayne's father saved him via the Hippocratic Oath because he's a doctor. Then he's worried about this guy doing Maroni, which was the original gangster that ran Gotham,
Right.
was going to do a smear campaign on
Against,
Martha Wayne.
well, it was, yeah, right.
She was
crazy.
Because the thing with
She had a
Martha
mental
Wayne,
health
it's
problem.
Weird, depending on which Batman we're talking about. Her last name's either Arkham or Kane.
Yeah. And this
So,
one is
right,
Arkham.
it's
They went
Arkham
with
this time.
they went with Arkham because they were supposed to be the two richest families. Arkham.
Yeah, right. The two biggest families.
Yeah.
Right.
So then they because he was getting blackmailed from Maroni, Falcone's like, oh, I can take power by killing the guy that works for Maroni, putting Wayne in his pocket, and it was just really convoluted to make all this stick. It was really bad.
So okay, in that circuit, so who the hell who killed the Waynes again?
Falcone.
Who killed the Waynes? I mean,
Maroni.
No.
Oh no, Falcone
did.
Yeah, because after
Wayne
at-
wouldn't go
Because
along with
he
it.
was
Yeah.
gonna go turn him. He was gonna go
turn him in,
turn
yeah.
himself in.
Right.
Yeah.
He was gonna go turn himself in and
For
say
what
this is
happened, because
and
he's like,
da.
hey, I accidentally talked to my mobster friend. Yeah, you da 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 da. We're gonna put a jar. I'm gonna put a jar in the center of the table from now on. So every time Greg does his standard catchphrase, da 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 da, when he starts explaining things, 'cause he wants to shorthand it. We'll put $1 in there and see what happens by the end of the
So
year.
it's like dot 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 dot.
Yeah. So they did all this convoluted stuff to put everything in a big old circle, which
Right. So it came out that he wanted to turn himself in and say what had happened. Falcone found out, got mad,
and killed him.
and killed him.
Yeah. Well,
It was just big.
it was implied killed him because they never confirmed.
It was just this big circle.
And just try to connect everybody
Yeah,
for no
right.
reason. And it was just terrible.
Terrible.
Well, it goes
Terrible.
along. It goes
Terrible.
along with the uneven tone of the whole thing. Because at the end of the movie, they had this big, hopeful, sun rising thing where he's saving people after the.
Yeah,
right.
And then I'm like, which one do you want?
In
Do you
the
want to be
daylight.
like the Cape Crusader guy? Do you want to be the noir detective guy? Which one do you want to be?
Well,
Because
he's
the
not
dialogue between him and
he's-
Gordon was like,
Well, he's definitely not the detective guy. We can tell you that
Obviously
right
not.
now.
But he's also not the big slab of dumb meat that punches guys either.
he's supposed to be all those things at once. So
Yeah. He's supposed to be he's supposed to have like what? Like almost like if he had degrees, it would have been like 8 doctorates and everything, every science. Like
he's basically Sherlock Holmes mixed with, I don't know, the best fighter ever.
so
Basically.
yeah.
But-
So the movie was 3 hours. The movie was 3 hours.
Didn't have to be 3 hours.
How many of those scenes?
Well, the reason why it's 3 hours is because there's so many different movies in it.
Yeah, that's true,
There's more than one movie in that.
right? But the thing that got me was the
Well, like they
scenes
could
that
have well, they could have ended it
Right.
like we said, when the Joker's laughing. That
There was an extra
well, I think
20
we,
minutes of them riding
yeah,
motorcycles.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
like
Or
I think
how
we
many-
all
how
thought
many-
we all thought
how
that was
many
the ending,
scenes
right?
just dragged on? Yeah.
We all thought that was the ending.
Yeah. What? The scene where they're like, oh, who turned on the bat signal?
Oh,
And
that was the Catwoman.
yeah, but they showed them like take a 5-minute scene of them pulling up to the place where it's at,
Right.
and then another 3 minutes of them getting on the elevator, then another 3 minutes of them rising up while she's kicking the dude in the face. Then they stare at each other for a minute, and then start talking. So there's like 10 minutes right there you could have cut from the movie.
I don't know. There was
You
there was
really
three.
thought too much about this.
There was-
to be honest.
I mean, there
I
were
was prepared
three.
for
There were
today.
3 different times during this movie I thought the movie was over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 times I thought, okay, this is the ending of the movie, and then all of a sudden it just kept dragging on, and I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna keep dragging this out. Can't believe this. Hey, how about he doesn't use the batarang? He doesn't use.
No.
No,
Well, he
I
does
mean-
at the end, dude. When
Well,
he
no,
turns
he
into a
doesn't.
sword. He uses it like a sword to cut the wall.
Yeah, but he could have just threw it. Is what I'm saying. Like
He's got
he
no
could have
ninja
just
skills.
threw it.
That's what I'm saying.
He had
Like,
like a gauntlet crossbow for some reason. But it doesn't have a battery.
Right. Hey, he could have just threw it. He didn't have to get on there, electrocute himself, and cut a cord.
he didn't, but he did. On vengeance. And I like how no one called him Batman through most of that. They made one mention of calling him Batman, but everything else was called him Vengeance. Hey, Vengeance.
Oh
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You don't remember what?
I stopped paying attention to him talking about that.
How about the end scene where
guess.
before he electrocutes himself, when he stands up and he takes the adrenaline
Oh,
and
yeah.
he beats the crap out of that guy on the rail.
I guess
And then they're like, "Who are you?" And the guy goes, "I'm Vengeance."
that was. I thought the first time he said it was vengeance was on the subway. Platform.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
when
is
he
the
first
first
said
time.
it.
That's the first
But
time.
for some reason,
with the
but
emo
everyone-
almost sobbing, he put.
Yeah.
in.
Yeah,
but
but
for
everyone
some-
else refers to him as
as
Vengeance, not Batman.
That's a terrible thing. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, they just
I was like
the
fascinated at the terribleness of so many things that I just was.
And they kept doing that. They kept doing it the whole time, which was they kept calling him Vengeance. The random cop was like, "What's up, Vengeance?"
Yes.
And all the cops were super Italian or Irish.
Well, no, not the Mexican guy. The Mexican guy.
Yeah, the one Mexican guy. The only thing he
he's the-
needed to do was go "Odele," and he would
Well,
have been perfect.
Did he have the mustachio?
Yeah, he had the mustache.
He did.
And he's like,
He did
my
have the
dad was a
mustache.
carpenter who came over
Yeah,
from Mexico,
well, his
and
uncle.
this is
uncle.
what Tool used to.
What decade is he supposed to be in?
I don't know. No one knows.
It's very like 70s, 80s kind of. Maybe?
But it's also somehow set in because they have the internet. I don't know. It's all over the place. This movie is all over the place. The hallway scene, since we were talking about the fight scenes with the AK-47s,
Oh,
that
dark.
armor is the best armor in the
Well,
world.
that's where he goes up in the elevator.
Yeah, and he beats up the dudes in the dark. And remember, they shot
I
him
remember that
directly.
part.
He walks through, and you were like,
That was the part with where Catwoman finds out Falcone.
Yeah, Falcone. Well, no,
well, no, she already knew.
She already knew he was.
She went to kill
She
him.
went to go kill him because he killed her friend.
And her mom.
Okay.
And they shot him with AK-47s,
Point blank.
point blank. No further than me and Dan.
Well, I looked.
And there was no ricochet, and he didn't.
Well, no, I looked at Kyle. Go, why don't they shoot him in the head?
Right. There's this whole motor person.
right.
Shoot him in the jaw.
My thing was more like there's no ricochet that would accidentally hit him in the jaw somewhere.
Right.
Or
Well,
there was
like-
no impact. There was no impact from those bullets constantly slamming his chest. Even at a lower
Well, I mean-
caliber, getting shot in the chest at point blank with even with a bulletproof vest on knocks you on
And
your
I'm not
butt.
saying it has to be realistic, but come on. Batman's unrealistic in the sense that he does everything at maximum human potential, which means that he can flip around
Right.
and run forever and
And-
fight everybody.
And then bench
But
press
he's
400
still-
pounds.
But he's still sneaking around because if he gets shot, it's over.
Yeah.
I mean, I just looked at Kyle in the middle of it. I'm like, why don't they shoot him in the head? And he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the reason why they don't shoot him in the head normally is because they can't. No, they don't know where he is.
Yeah, that's why he never gets shot in the head in the other movies, because he jumps them. He sneaks up on him. No, he
I mean,
just
I'm
walks
just,
down
I'm
the
just
hall at
saying,
him.
if there's 7 of us and I'm shooting, I see you guys shoot him in the chest
Right.
700 times and he's not
Dropping.
He's not, I'm gonna
You're
aim
start
for your
aiming for
head.
the party
Yeah,
parts.
right. Aim
Try
for
to
your
slow him
head.
down or hit him in the head and hope for the best.
Especially when I can see half your face.
I mean, and at the point that he's been around for 2 years, you know, number one, you're going to get beat up one way or another. So aim for the face at that point. Even if it's a low hit range, you still aim for the face because you're going to get beat up one way or another. You can hope to hit him in the head and be done with it.
Well, it's similar to a lot of problems I have in some movies where basically they're like the Superman movie. The first Superman movie, he's like basically
We're
like
talking about Man of Steel, or
Man
we
of
talking
Steel,
about
whatever.
Okay.
That one where he's basically a giant rocket in human form
yeah.
when he takes off, right? And they're like,
He creates a sonic
and then
boom
he,
every
like,
time.
and then he lets all the buildings fall on everyone, and then somehow he's the savior of Metropolis. And then in the second movie, they keep calling him the savior, even though he didn't really save anybody. He must have killed thousands of people in that fight, and
Well,
he didn't even try to keep it away from the
Well,
city.
well, I feel like that's every superhero movie anymore.
Yeah, I understand that, but
But
Superman's not supposed to be that way.
usually, even in those things, the superhero tries to get out of city limits.
Well, Superman's supposed to try to save people. He's not there to beat people up. Per se.
yeah, his whole thing is like,
He's not the Hulk.
but yeah, usually they try to get him out of the city
So
limits.
in the Batman,
Iron Man, he tries to get him away from everybody.
So in this Batman
and then he
movie,
fights him.
for example, throughout the movie, he's supposed to be some intimidating figure, but everybody's like cracking wise behind his back during a detective scene, right? And then, and then being a racist caricature of some ethnicity, like the Mexican guy.
Yeah, like it was just everyone was very stereotyped.
And then at the end of that hallway scene, the only explanation I can think of is they're so intimidated, they're so scared they can't shoot straight.
Well,
Maybe that's it.
I mean, they could shoot straight. They were hitting him.
Yeah, they were shooting
they were
directly in the
shooting
chest.
in the
No,
chest.
they were so scared they were shooting right at his chest. I don't know.
I mean, that's the only thing I would imagine. I mean, because
That's the only explanation I can have that they weren't.
I'm
doing that.
sitting there watching, going, I can
I
see
know it's
I can see half his face. I would just aim for his head.
Yeah,
I
like
know that's convoluted, but that's the only explanation I can have.
good job, Dan. You cracked the mystery. So
No, I think he's probably wrong. Isn't he?
yeah,
Probably wrong.
but speaking of which, like you said, he's supposed to be some intimidating figure,
Everyone
and
was supposed to be afraid.
none of the, like you said, the cops were making fun of him behind his back. Everyone was making fun of him by just making fun of his name, Vengeance.
Vengeance.
No one was intimidated by him, except for like the podunk guy who robbed the convenience store the one time. So that sigh of
I'm
disappointment.
tired of thinking about this movie anymore, to be honest.
I know, but that's what we're here to talk
I
about.
understand that.
It's Batman Day.
And we got 20 minutes left. We're running through this pretty good.
You have nothing left on the list.
Oh yeah, I do.
Batman being involved.
Batman was good.
No, the being involved, like he was actually like when he went to the Iceberg Lounge and was like being right up in Penguin's face instead of just kind of like spying, and he was actually being involved like on the level instead of just showing up like Flash, here I am, solved it all, and flashback out. I was okay with that because it's supposed to be him in early career, so he did a lot of dumb stuff like that until he just learned it was better just being a ninja.
But to be honest, my heart is to mostly just ragging on this movie. So I don't like you having positive points about it.
Yeah, you guys know my only positive point about it.
Is
No one
So-
shot for the heads on my
Miss
list.
Kravitz?
Yeah, that's
It's
it.
Kravitz.
It's the only positive
He just
point.
came there to see.
That's it. Kyle's like, you want to see Batman? I was like, yeah, I go see Zoe.
So I want to go back to one of our earlier remarks we made about the Joker. Why? Why did we need?
Because they're setting up a second one.
Yeah, yes, we know they're setting up a second one. But he has
It's gonna be-
so many other villains. Why couldn't they just go with one of them?
Because I seriously thought at the beginning of the movie, not knowing, because I didn't really pay attention to who the villain was, I thought that maybe because the tone kind of reminded me of this story called The Long Halloween, where during every holiday there's a death of somebody and it's a big cataclysm and they find out it's some random person at the end, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it was like that, but
Yeah, I don't know.
because if you're gonna do a serial killer,
I feel like they overdo the Joker though.
You're right, they shouldn't be doing him anymore.
They shouldn't be doing it. Yeah, they need to stop.
Once in a while,
Yeah, right.
whatever.
Like, give it some time.
Especially after Jared Leto.
Because speaking of which, is like you're talking about the serial killer
He
thing.
sucked.
I actually thought about that when we were sitting there watching this. Like the way they're portraying the Riddler, he could have been Victor Zsasz or Calendar Man,
or Dollman,
Dollman. Oh, Dollman would have been good. Dollman's one they can do.
because he's
Greg,
way more gruesome than a Riddler.
for Greg and everyone who doesn't know, I'm going to have Dan explain Dollman because he knows Dollman a lot better than I do.
Well, I don't know. I forget Dollman's name, but basically his MO is he kills people and then he dismembers them and then stitches them back together.
Turns them into dolls.
Into weird
Yeah,
shapes.
I got you.
And then he had kids, right?
Uh-huh.
And he basically created a cult where they just took the skin off other people and put it on themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
messed up.
Buffalo Buff.
So
Yeah.
during the New 52, which started about 10 years ago, the Joker cut his face off.
Okay.
He was in jail. He got the Dollman to cut his face off and then leave it in the evidence locker.
Right.
And then a year later, he comes back without a face and then he puts it back on.
No,
And
okay.
he just literally
So
he
Dollman-
puts a
the
rubber
Doll-
band on it, like holds it
Yeah,
to
the
his head.
Dollman was the guy who did that. So,
And
and then Victor Zsasz is just a serial killer.
yeah, who's just really crazy.
I don't know. I just feel like they overdo the Joker.
Yeah, and
They
that's
just
So
overdo
there's
it.
plenty of serial killer guys.
yeah. There's a lot of people that can
I
go
mean,
with.
I can't stand. Who played? Was it Leto?
Jay
He
Leto. Or
sucked.
Jared
I
Leto.
hated his Joker.
Hip hop Joker, or whatever he was. I'm not sure
I
exactly.
don't even
how to
know.
describe-
I don't even know.
how to describe.
I mean, he was horrible.
This they revealed who they were going to get to play the Joker. Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's my da-da-da-da. There was supposed to be a scene, and it's supposed to be Barry Keegan?
Keegan, yeah.
Is that Keegan?
K-E. I don't know. Kogan, Keegan.
Who the hell was Barry Keegan?
I don't know.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I know. So that's who they were getting. So let's now look up who Barry Keegan. Because I have no idea who this guy is.
spelled Keoghan.
Oh, as soon as I typed in Barry, because he's been.
Keoghan.
I
Yeah.
don't know him. No clue.
Let's see what movies he was in. He was in The Eternals. He was in Dunkirk. American
Which
Animals.
one was he in? Let me see.
Here, here, I got you. I got you, fam. It's that
I
guy.
got you, fan.
He's
No.
supposed to be the Joker.
No. I think not.
Yeah.
Squinty-eyed dweeb? No.
Squinty-eyed dweeb.
I'm a squinty-eyed dweeb. I should know.
I know. It's just like We're just like being nerds that are bashing on other nerds. Ha! Nerd. But that's the point of the alpha nerd. We're the-
No, I don't know. I'm just.
So
I don't really see it.
Let's steer
I would
away.
have to put him in makeup and maybe see it.
Let's steer away from the Joker. Who do you want? Who would you like to see as the next villain?
Like I said, Calendar Man, Victor Zsasz. They already did Scarecrow, so I feel like they can let that go for a while. Mad Hatter would be good.
He's weird.
Yeah, he's really weird. Poison Ivy.
Well, there's a. They haven't done Poison Ivy correctly yet. They didn't do Bane right either, really.
No, but they've already done them lately. So
Yeah, I understand the Bane's
like
been 10 years.
Ivy, they haven't done lately.
I mean, I feel like it's always the same ones, right? It's Joker, it's Penguin,
Oh, he's got a long
the
list.
Riddler. No, I mean in the movies.
Yeah,
Right.
they
In
always
the
go
movies,
with
it's
the
always the
absolute-
same ones. It's the Joker, it's the
Basically same
Penguin,
ones
it's the
that
Bane.
that were in the old 60s television show, except
Right.
for Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. Mr. Freeze is the exception.
Right.
Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah,
They
but
already did that.
right.
Yeah, they did. I forgot.
They did that with Dark Knight
Liam
Rises.
Liam Neeson, yes. And then he had to be.
Like I said, unless they bring back Bane as his own guy, because
Yeah.
he's his own guy.
Right.
Yeah,
He's
that's
not.
yeah.
connected
Because
to
I
any
say
of that.
you.
Ra's al Ghul, yeah, right.
Yeah, he's not part of League of Shadows. He is literally a super smart buff guy who takes.
I used to always like
he was
the,
raised in a prison.
I used to always like the robot chicken.
Yeah, that's kind of like
Where he was breaking his back.
Oh, you just literally watched him break
Dude,
my back.
You just stood there and let it happen. Boo on you.
I boo on you, sir.
All right, so
You guys just watched him walk up to me and break my back.
Two-Face, they did.
Well, they did
Um,
Two-Face twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the first one was okay. Very 90s.
Yeah. Oh, extremely 90s, yeah. The purple. Purple.
With Drew Barrymore. Who was the other one?
There was Jack Nicklaus. He was Joker.
No, I mean the two girls for the Two-Face.
Oh,
One wears black and one wears
Yeah,
white.
like the first Drew Barrymore and somebody else. Killer Croc would be good.
Yeah, alright, yeah.
And since they did the Suicide Squad, they could use that guy because he already established himself as Killer Croc, and he's a decent Killer
And
Croc.
he didn't die in the second one, so.
I didn't even watch.
He wasn't
There's
a-
a second one?
Well,
Oh,
they
well.
just did Suicide Squad. Yeah, it was basically a sequel. But they didn't use Killer Croc.
Croc, they
another
used
guy,
King Shark.
King Shark.
I didn't know there was a second one.
Suicide Squad, yeah.
I walked out of the first one.
Oh, the second one is basically they have
It
the
was-
same crew except half. most of them
James
died.
Gunn. But what they did was they got James Gunn to do it, who's the guy who does like Guardians of the Galaxy and all that stuff, and he's really good. So he made a much better version of
I think
Hush.
I went and watched
Hush
it with
would be
you.
really good.
That's a little meta
That is, but it,
because there's a lot of backstory in that one where you have to explain who his childhood friends are and stuff.
yeah, and they didn't do it. Black
well,
Mask.
I mean,
Because
they look what they did with the Riddler this time.
I
They
understand.
could go do it.
Well, isn't that the point? That it was too long.
No, let's make the longer movie longer. And look, I could deal with
No,
it
if
being.
it was just Hut, it was okay. As a sequel to this movie, or after this, it would be bad because Catwoman's in it. The Joker's in it for a little teeny bit, but not the whole movie.
Yeah.
Because he thinks Joker's that behind everything. And
Right.
He catches him and then it's over. And
Right.
It's something else.
I think I'm not a big. I've never been a big superhero movie fan, so I know that there's a story behind it, but the movie seemed jumpy.
Yeah.
It was very jumpy, back and forth between
Different
storylines and
basically different movies.
And then they tried to tie them all together at once. And it was like really, it was awkward.
Every part of the movie had a different, I don't know, feel and different like lighting and different everything.
Right. Yeah, to me, it just jumped around a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like they had no way to tie it all together. That's why there's like three different times we thought the movie was over.
I think they were just like, we're not sure if we're gonna get another movie out of this. Let's just patch it together.
Although there's another hypothesis I was thinking about that maybe most movies have 3 acts, where it's the beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
Maybe he had 3 different movies in mind, and he has had different. Each part of the movie was like in sequence, except first, second, third, and then at the end he tied them up at 3.
At that three, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe he was trying to be
I
avant-garde
could
or
see that.
something.
I could see that part. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm-
could see that. That makes sense.
Now it's
He's
not
gonna
good.
be a
the only
movie
problem is he didn't
auteur.
tie them all together very well.
Right, no.
Yeah.
It's not good. I didn't say it was good. I said it's theory. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a theory. It's a theory. So, since we're in almost the last 10 minutes of the show, one thing we talked about right before we started was the ranking of the Batman movies. And I feel like this is a good subject to talk about because we all have probably very different
someone
opinions.
messaged me and said the Batman Lego movie.
I thought we said no animated.
No,
No,
someone
we
messaged
did
him
say-
about
Lego's
we
up
did.
there.
We did say. We did say.
it's up there higher than some of the other
It's like
ones.
the top 5, maybe.
Oh
Maybe
man.
Maybe.
for some people.
Um, I think we had this. We've all said this already. The Dark Knight for me is the number one with Heath Ledger as Joker.
Yep. Here's your list so you can go with your own order. So number 1 is Dark Knight.
I never even watched Dark Knight Rises, so I couldn't tell you.
It definitely would be up there for you.
You know,
You don't have to. Okay.
Just put it in the middle somewhere
I can
for you.
summarize it for you. If you
Yeah.
want.
I would say
I can summarize in like basically.
Dark Knight. I'd say Dark Knight. I don't know. Batman Begins. Batman Forever.
That's fine. I like
Yeah.
that one too.
The last two are definitely Batman and Robin, and this one.
Why don't you like it?
That's a tough
What
one.
about Batman vs
That's a
Superman?
tough one.
Where's that at?
Oh, that's listen. I didn't even watch that.
Oh, you
I got
didn't?
like 40 minutes into it. I looked at Kyle. I was like, I can't do
So
this.
that should be on your last.
And I walked
no,
away.
that has to be your last.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll put that.
You
as
didn't
my
make
last.
it through.
There's like no storyline behind it.
isn't.
There's
No.
there's no reason. They
Yeah.
give you no reason.
for them to fight. The literal reason
He
is
hates Superman.
yeah,
Right.
he was mad because
Well, to be
when
honest-
Superman fought Zod, a bunch of people got killed on accident.
Right.
Which Bruce Wayne was part of. Like he was trying to help them, and they all died on accident because one of his Wayne Towers in Metropolis got knocked over.
Right.
And he was super mad at that, and then he was also super mad that Superman saved other people, but not the people that died that Bruce Wayne happened to know. So it was all just kind of like,
It was so convoluted. I couldn't stand
and then
It was big.
Superman was feeling bad about saving people.
Right.
He's like, I feel bad because people are really relying on me to save them. Yeah, not everyone can throw a planet. Like, yeah,
and fly. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah. No, I couldn't. I think I never watched it. I think I made 40 minutes into it, and I was like,
Well, I
I
fast
can't
forward.
watch
I
it.
watched
can't
on
watch this.
DVD or whatever online.
And he
so-
killed people. And he
alright.
killed people.
All right, so I gave my rankings.
All right. Dan, would you
Just give me the list.
like to see the list?
Just give me the list. Well, we know
Well,
number
well,
one.
the Dark Knight's
Dark
obvious.
Knight's number one. Yeah, right. We already said that.
So I guess Batman Begins, Batman Returns, Batman, then the first Batman, 1990, 89, whatever.
Was that the one with Michael Keaton?
Yep.
Batman Forever.
Now we're getting to the hard
Now
part.
it's-
The
Starting-
Batman, then Batman versus Superman, because I just don't like Ben Affleck. And I guess Batman and Robin's the last one.
Oh.
Oh.
Whatever.
Boo
I don't want Dayglow, like
Gang members and
Gang members
the
and-
bat nipples.
and no. And then there's Cyborg, Austrian, Mr. Freeze. I don't really care.
Who made all the ice puns? It's
All of them,
ice to
literally.
meet you.
Literally all of them.
It's going to be a chill.
That's the first four.
Winter
pretty
is
close,
coming.
but I just can't do it.
All right. So mine, obvious number one for me is
The
Batman.
Yeah.
Batman from the 80s.
Yeah, you just like Prince. I know.
Yes, that's it. Just Prince. That was the only reason why I
That's
liked
the only
him.
reason.
And the
Not
Purple
Jack
Smoke,
Nicholson,
And,
no.
and Purple Smoke and just Jack Nicholson. In this.
Yeah.
That's the reason why, right?
Yeah, I love Jack Nicholson's
With the-
Joker.
Okay. And the okay, go ahead.
My follow up. Just go ahead. My follow up is The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Batman Begins. Batman Returns because Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman.
Oh, I forgot you love Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh yeah, she was the hot woman of the time.
How old were you? Like 4?
Well, what
I was
92?
8, sir. I was 8.
I was 8, good sir. Good squire.
Wait.
Squire.
It came out in 92, didn't it?
Squire 92. Yeah.
Oh, so then, sorry,
Four.
I was
Four.
four. No, five.
Five.
I was
5
5.
years old.
I was old
You didn't
enough.
watch it in theaters, did you?
No,
It was must have been
I
years
remember-
later.
Oh, yeah,
like
without a doubt.
6 or 7.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
So after that, Forever, Dark Knight Rises is a little bit higher.
I feel like after that point, you can put them in any order you want
Yeah,
because they're
pretty much.
garbage after that.
Yeah, they're worse. But see, I liked Batman and Robin though. That's
You did?
yes.
Because
'Cause
you're
it-
a cheese ball. That's
Exactly.
Oh, that is true. He does like
I
those
like cheesy movies.
He does
so
like the
it
cheesy
hit all
ones.
those spots for me in so many ways.
Like B movies, like cheesy stuff.
Yeah, he does
Batman
like those
Begins
movies.
is also higher up there. My absolute last ones are Batman versus Superman and the Batman.
I think that's pretty much agreeable between all
I
three of
put
us,
Batman
right?
in the lower part, but I thought it was well executed, but I didn't think it was.
Yeah, it wasn't good, but it was
Like,
well executed.
the
For what
Batman
they wanted, they
Batman versus
executed it.
Superman made no logical sense.
Yeah,
Right.
Batman versus Superman is absolutely my
Whereas
last.
Batman and Robin was just
Hokey.
horrible choices.
Yeah, right.
They just went through all the popular people at the time: Uma Thurman, George Clooney. It was all the popular.
Plus, they made Bane an idiot,
Yeah,
and I like him.
And I
As far
like
as,
him.
as far as a character goes, because
You
he's
ruined it.
basically
ruined.
He's basically evil Batman.
yeah. He's evil Batman
Or-
that kills.
or like mercenary Batman.
Yeah,
right?
mercenary Batman that has a addiction to a chemical that makes you stronger
Right.
and not feel pain.
And then Batman versus Superman.
Oh, they are coming out. They have. There's another Batman movie is coming out. Who is it with? We were just talking about this.
Was it a cartoon?
No, it's an actual movie.
Are you? Are they talking about when they were talking about doing Michael Keaton as old Batman?
Yes.
They're doing a Batman Beyond, and some of them say it's going to be a show, like a Netflix series movie kind of thing, where it's going to be broken up. They're doing Batman Beyond, and the only thing we know for sure,
Michael Keaton is going to be in it.
Michael Keaton's going to be playing old
That's
Bruce.
fine.
I'm absolutely okay with this. They haven't showed us who Terry McGinnis is yet.
It sounds like more of a show to me because if this is going to be like one of those WB farces,
Yeah,
they
that's
could
true.
possibly, because they like doing that weird retro plastic costume gang thing where
Oh,
they have
yeah.
like the gangs dressed in stupid
Yep.
outfits.
Yep.
Like it's the Warriors or something.
Yeah.
Warrior.
Come out to play.
Except they're going to have like Joker masks on or whatever.
Yeah. So
But they are coming out with.
yeah. So
another-
Greg, you know nothing about Batman Beyond.
No.
So I'm going to give you a quick thing. Batman Beyond takes place in the future because Bruce
Obviously,
Wayne's old.
Bruce Wayne's old.
And the reason why he stopped being Batman is he got to the point where his heart started giving out and he was getting so old that he couldn't do it anymore.
So he has an apprentice.
You know, he never got a press. What happened was Terry McGinnis just happened to show up on his property being attacked by the Jokers. Bruce Wayne happened to save him. Terry McGinnis happened to find out he was Batman somehow. I think he just kind of fell in the cave on accident.
Yeah, he fell in and like got like the waterways or something.
Yeah.
wasn't it?
So then Bruce Wayne kicks him out. And then Terry McGinnis' father was killed by his employer, who was doing all kinds of shady, dirty stuff for business,
Right.
who was tied to Bruce Wayne because it was like Wayne Powers Corp. Like they all melded into a giant corporation.
Yep.
And this guy was just trying to take control. So he was doing shady business and he was getting ready to try to kill Bruce Wayne and everything else. So he killed Terry McGinnis' father. So he went back, stole the bat suit to try to take revenge.
Mm.
And
Got
after that whole thing, he doesn't actually fully take revenge on him. But then Batman's like, Bruce Wayne's like, hey, you know what? You're hired.
Right. Got you.
And he's like, I'm going to teach you how to be Batman because
So
I
you think
can't.
it's a TV show and not a movie?
There's a lot they can do with Batman Beyond.
like that.
And the thing I like
I feel
about
like you're
Batman
paying
Beyond
Michael
is,
Keaton a lot to do a TV
Yeah.
show.
like I said, it'll be like a Netflix series, like higher end
It could
thing.
be
where
like a
they-
miniseries. Man.
Right.
Yeah. But I like it because the thing I liked about Batman Beyond is his villains died a lot.
Well, there's also it's like science fiction, so there's a lot more science fiction.
Future,
Like,
future
they
stuff,
had a
yeah.
part, what was it, where the Joker took over the body of one of the Robins?
Yeah, not Jason Todd, but
like he
Tim.
genetically took over his body.
Like he
have, like,
he
memory
developed like a
chips.
computer
Oh,
chip
really?
that would start to slowly replicate his brain inside another person's
Oh, for the
body,
person's body. Okay.
and he kept trying to take over it. That was the movie.
Yeah.
One of the other things is like in that one, Bane got so old and decrepit from all the venom use that he had to have like a home health nurse guy make it for him to keep him alive.
Right.
And the guy's like, oh, now I know how to make venom. I'm going to sell it to kids as drugs, like performance enhancers.
Oh yeah, right.
So he was doing that. And
didn't like Bruce Wayne or somebody try to fix Bane for him or something?
Yeah.
Or was that different?
yeah,